Hello students. So today we are going to start a new chapter, and the chapter is microorganisms. So microorganisms, so this is the part 1 of the video. So in this video we are going to discuss about what is microorganism basically and what are the various type of microorganisms. So let us start the discussion. So exactly what is microorganism? So micro is means to say it is very small. So in term of measurement it is 10 raised to power minus 6 meter. So this is that much small, and yes, these are the organisms which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. So these organisms are very small. We cannot see it with our eyes, and yes, then the question arises, how can they be seen? So obviously for seeing them, so we have to use some special kind of instrument, and that instrument is basically known as microscope. So this is the device, or this is the instrument by which we can observe these organisms. So this is basically an instrument in which lenses are there, and yes, you can see. So what we have to do, we have to place the slide of the organism. So these are very tiny organisms. So at this position, so this is the stage basically. So we have to place a slide onto which this organism is placed in form of medium, and when the light passes through this organism, so we have to put some color dye or some kind of pigment onto it, so that the organism can be visible to us through this ocular lenses. So when the light passes through the specimen, so it passes through the specimen, then through these lenses, this is the objective lens, then the images go to our eye through this particular ocular lens. So this is how we can easily see the objects or see the organisms with the help of this microscope. So for viewing or for observing the organisms which are very tiny, so we have to use this particular instrument, that is microscope. Now if we look at the working of the microscope, so microscope is having two type of lens. I have already shown you in the diagram. So one is the objective lens, and second is the ocular lens, that is also known as eyepiece. So remember, if like this organism, this is the image of the housefly, as you can see, this is very small. So by having these two combinations of lenses, so the image of this housefly will be that much of size. I mean, it will seen by us very large in size. So normally the lenses which we are using in the microscope, so this lens is having the magnification of 10x. So normally it is represent in 10x. So this is 10x, and this eyepiece is also of 10x. So when both this 10x and 10x combines, so this give us the magnification that is 100 time. Similarly, this objective lens can be of 45x. So that time 45 multiplied by 10x of the eyepiece, giving us the magnification of 450 time. Similarly, sometime objective lens can be of 100x also. So in the compound microscope, in this microscope, 100x multiplied by this 10, it is going to give us 1000 time magnification. So in the compound microscopes like this, we can have the magnification goes up to 1000 times. So we can see the image of any object 1000 time, maximum 1000 time more than its size. So like this it works basically. And yes, for the microscope, light is necessary, because otherwise without light source we cannot see the objects properly. Now moving ahead, so microorganism, I have told you, these are very tiny organisms, and remember, these organisms are present in our surrounding at every place, even in soil, even in air. So everywhere these organisms are present. So these organisms are capable of adapting themselves. I mean, they can survive in any type of condition, whether the high temperature, whether low temperature, whether high moisture, low moisture, in presence of oxygen, in absence of oxygen, in fertile land, in barren area. So everywhere they are present. So they can adjust themselves, they can accommodate in any kind of condition. So why they can adjust in any type of condition, because they can develop a cyst around themselves. So what is this cyst? So I'm going to show you this image of the microorganism. So you can see this is the layer, this is the tough layer which generally produces out when the conditions are not favorable for their surviving. So they can develop a cyst, a protective layer around their body. So that is known as cyst. So they can develop a cyst layer around themselves, and that is why they can survive in any type of adverse condition like high temperature, low temperature, anything. So they can survive. So why they can survive? Because of the development of cyst around their body. Now moving ahead, what are the various types of microorganisms? So let me tell you, there are total in number 5 types of microorganisms. Microorganism can be bacteria, they can be algae, they can be protozoans, they can be fungi, they can be viruses. So normally bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungus and these viruses, these are all collectively called as microorganisms. So they all are, we cannot see these organisms by our naked eye, but some are visible, no doubt. In this, if we talk about the size of these bacteria or microorganisms, so some of these bacteria or some of these algae or protozoa, fungus, viruses can be seen by our naked eye. Some species of these microorganisms are visible to us. Now moving ahead with the first type of microorganism, that is bacteria. So bacteria are very simple microorganism. They are very simple and very small microorganism. Why I am talking about simple? Because the cell structure of bacteria is prokaryotic type. It is not eukaryotic cell, it is prokaryotic cell, and yes, it is unicellular, that means single cell organism, bacteria. And yes, they can divide into two, they can multiply into 2 in 10 to 30 minutes. So that is the division rate of the bacteria. That means they grow very fast. So their growing time or growing rate is very fast. And yes, this is about the quantity. So if you are going to take 1 gram of garden soil in your hand, so 1 gram is very little amount. So this is going to give us, you can see, it will be having 250 crore bacteria in that. So if you count the number of bacteria present in that 1 gram of garden soil, so it will be around 250 crore. So that is very, very high. So this is, bacteria is very small microbes. Okay, now if we talk about the bacteria, so if we talk about the shape of the bacteria, so generally bacteria are having 3 different shapes. These are the 3 main shapes in which bacteria normally find. So this is the rod shaped bacteria, that is called as bacilli. Remember, these are the names given to the bacteria depending upon their shape. So if the bacteria shape is rod shape like this, you can see, so you can easily see in this picture, it is rod shaped bacteria. So like this, so it is rod shaped. So generally this bacteria are nomenclated as bacilli. So they are called as bacilli. These are bacilli bacteria. Why? Because of their rod shape. Similarly, if we talk about the other shape, it is spherical shape. So spherical shape bacteria are like this. They are spherical in shape, and these bacteria are categorized as cocci. These are cocci. Like, I will tell you the name of these bacteria also in the next segment of the video. So cocci, so when we are going to name these bacteria or nomenclate these bacteria, so that time we are going to use this word bacilli or cocci. Sometimes we use bacillus or coccus words. So these kind of words are also there. Similarly, there is a third shape that is known as spiral shape, and the bacteria is called as spirilla. Name of the bacteria could be spirilla. So you can see these are the bacterial shape. You can see these are the spiral shape, as you can see in this picture. So these are the spiral shape bacteria, spirilla. So spirillum or spirilla is the word used to describe their name. Okay, moving ahead, the second type of organism, that is microorganism, is algae. So remember, algae is you have seen this organism very well in your surrounding, in the pond, in the lakes. So normally they survive in the water bodies, and they are simple plant-like organisms. So the appearance of these algae is basically like a plant, and they have cell wall like a plant cell. They have cell wall, they have chlorophyll in it. So normally they are having the green color, and yes, they are unicellular and they are multicellular. So algae can be unicellular or can be multicellular. I am going to show you this slide picture of it also. And yes, algae are basically, these are flat filament like structure, normally known as thallus. So they are basically flat filamental structure. They don't have root, they don't have stem, they don't have leaves, but they are having the flat filament or thallus like structure, algae. So generally they normally float onto the surface of water. You may have seen this algae. Okay, if we can see the example of algae, the best common example of algae is Spirogyra. Spirogyra is the common type of algae, and this is the structure of the Spirogyra. Remember, the image of this Spirogyra is as per your book, it is in, I mean, you can see the diagram is given, but this is the real photograph of the Spirogyra. So this is the microscope view, as you can see. So these are the Spirogyra, these are the filamental shaped algae. The filament, these are known as filament. This ribbon like structure is known as filament. Okay, similarly there is another algae example, that is Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas are unicellular algae. Remember, single cell algae, and the structure in the book or in other images it will be different, but this is the real picture of Chlamydomonas. As you can see, it is having two flagella, so these are known as flagella. So this flagella is hair-like structure which help the Chlamydomonas to swim into the water. So this is the single cell organism, that is algae. Okay, next is the fucus. Fucus is looking like this, as you can see in this picture. This is almost like a plant. This is green in color, and it is available in the sea water, normally in the oceans. This is the, found at the oceans, available at the oceans. Okay, fourth one is the Laminaria. You can see its image. It is also available in the ocean, sea normally. And these filament, I mean this leaf-like structure of this Laminaria goes long. It goes up to in meter in length, if I talk about. So these are the common type of algae present in the water bodies. Now the third type of the microorganism is protozoans. So remember, protozoans are unicellular. Remember, protozoa are unicellular organism, and they have the animal-like characteristics. Animal-like characteristic means to say they cannot synthesize their food, but they have to depend upon the other organism for the food. And yes, they can move from one place to another place with the help of the movement. Organelles are present, like flagella is present, like cilia is present, like their pseudopodia is present. So you can see, first example of protozoa is amoeba. Amoeba is irregular shape structure. So this is the structure of amoeba. This is the one amoeba here, and this is the another one. This is the another one amoeba. So you can see, so amoeba is irregular shape in structure. It is very flexible. It is having very flexible body, and this projection which is coming out of its body is known as pseudopodia. This pseudopodia is also known as false foot. Maybe you have studied in the lower classes. So by this pseudopodia only it can move, it can change its position, and it can move from one place to another. So amoeba is a protozoa, and yes, it is available in the water. Second is the paramecium. Paramecium you have seen many times in the book. So it is a sleeper like structure. You can see it is like a sleeper, and paramecium can move with the help of cilia, hair like structure present on its body. So in the book also diagram is given. So hair like structure is called cilia. By this it can move from one places to another. Similarly, there is a protozoa that is known as trypanosoma. Sorry, it is trypanosoma. So you can see this purple color structure. So this is the structure of trypanosoma, as you can see in this slide. So these are the trypanosoma. Remember, this protozoa is this is pathogenic protozoa. That means it is disease causing protozoa, and this is the slide of our blood. So this is the blood slide, and these are the RBC which is present in our blood cell, normally present, and this is the trypanosoma parasite or protozoa which is available. So this sample of blood is having trypanosoma. So trypanosoma causes the disease, so that is why it is pathogenic in nature. So it is again a type of protozoa. Similarly, if you could remember malarial parasite, so the malaria parasite, that is the Plasmodium vivax, it also comes under this category of protozoa. So remember this. Next comes the fungus, that is fungi. So fungi is basically, they are again plant like structure, they are leafy structure, but they don't have chlorophyll. And yes, fungus can be unicellular and multicellular. And if you can see the example, so the example of this is penicillium. Penicillium is the fungus which is used to derive the medicine that is known as penicillin. So this is the structure of penicillium is a fungus. So this is the structure of penicillium. This is a type of fungus. And yes, this penicillium fungus is used to derive a medicine that is penicillin, that is antibiotic, to kill the bacteria. Next is the image of mushroom. You know very well. So mushroom is a type of fungus. So it is fungus, and it is also known as agaricus. The botanical name of this is agaricus. And yet yes, some species of this mushroom can be eaten also. I mean, they can be used as food also. And these fungus live as parasite normally, and they are saprophytes in nature. Saprophytes, you know very well, these are the organism which basically survive onto the dead organic matter, and they normally absorb the nutrients from the dead organic materials. Similarly, there are fungus like rhizopus. As you can see, you have seen this structure many times, maybe at home. So this is the bread after, this is the bread after 4 or 5 days, and you can grow this kind of fungus onto the bread simply by spraying some amount of water. Keep it moist, and then after 4 to 5 days you will see the growth of fungus over it. So this green color patches is basically the rhizopus, and this is the microscopic structure of the rhizopus fungus. So rhizopus fungus is also known as bread mold. It is also known as bread mold. And same time we have the fungus like yeast. So yeast is also used in our many confectionery item. So like cake, like bread, so we use yeast also. So this yeast is again, you can see it is a unicellular organism basically, and this brownish color part of this green color is budding. That means growing of new yeast cell out of the parent cell. So that is basically budding process. This is the yeast. So these are the fungus. Now we will move toward the next category and the last category of the type of microorganism, that is viruses. So viruses, nowadays it is very famous word, virus, because of COVID-19. So viruses are very small microorganisms. They are very tiny, even less than the size of the bacteria. So they are having the size, to observe the viruses, we have to use a special type of microscope, that is known as electron microscope. And electron microscope is having the capability to magnify the object more than 2 lakh times. So it can magnify the objects 2 lakh times, and by the help of electron microscope only we can see the viruses. And nowadays the common virus which is spreading around is COVID-19. You know very well. So this is virus. So the basic thing about the virus is that normally the virus is a dead organism. That means it is not going to reproduce by its own. So it don't have the same machinery, same cell structure like other microbes. But when it comes near the contact of living organism, so in that host cell, it uses the machinery of the host cell, and it started reproducing, and it start multiplying, and then it can damage the host cell, and obviously the person affected with virus can fall ill or may die also. So that is the main that is how viruses reproduce themselves. So they are generally they are non-living, but they become living when they are coming in contact with the living organism like host cell. So that is why viruses are placed as a link between living and non-living organisms. So they are basically dead organism, but they become live when they come in contact with the living organism like host cell. So these are the various type of viruses. Like COVID-19, we are having other viruses also. So this is the bacteriophage virus, which attack on the bacteria, and this is the adenovirus, This is the shape of adenovirus. This is the HIV virus, AIDS virus. That is, AIDS is the disease which infect because of the spread because of the HIV virus. So these are the common type of viruses. Similarly, we have influenza viruses also. Similarly, we have tobacco mosaic viruses also. So these are the various type of viruses. So we have already discussed the 5 different type of microorganism. In the next video, we are going to study the useful microorganisms and some harmful microorganisms in detail. Thank you.